Hello everyone, welcome back to the Traveling Merchant. I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through my binder that I have so far and maybe show off some of the other cards that I've got recently. So this is my front page, hopefully it's coming out. I got all the Rage cards organized nice. So for anybody who doesn't know about the movies, assuming a lot of people who would watch my stuff would know, but I'm trying to be respectful of those that don't. These are the original 1954 posters. This one is the Godzilla Raids Again, which is the second movie in the franchise. I believe it was a year later, so it would have been 55. This is the Invasion of the Astro Monster. There's a few movies in between these two. I believe it was King Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus Mothra, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, and then I believe this one came afterwards, but I haven't looked in my my big Showa era book in a while to remember which ones come in between these, but make sure that's centered. There we go. And then we've got Destroy All Monsters, which I also believe there may or may not be a couple between Invasion of Astro Monster and this one. And then we have what Americans would know as Godzilla's Revenge, but as the Japanese would know as All Monsters Attack. This, funny enough, this was one of the few VHSs I had on when I was a kid. So I didn't realize like they had all these really, really good versions of Godzilla. But of course, me as a kid, if this is the only one that I had, I thought it was great. But not realizing that they were just using old movie footage from other movies to fill in the blanks. This is Godzilla versus Gigan. I like Gigan as a character, but I feel like this movie kind of did him dirty. And then this one is my personal favorite because from the Showa series, mostly because besides the first one, this is the one I really grew up with more than this one because this is the one I always watched most. It's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, 1974. And if I can get the gold version of this, that'd be sweet. But I don't think it's going to happen. We got, this is getting into the Heisei era. So we've got Godzilla versus Biollante, Godzilla versus Mothra, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. And then we've got Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. And then I've got spaces for whenever they come out with new more rages. And then this is the Millennium era. So we've got Godzilla 2000. I love his design, except for his mouth. It always looked more like a frog to me. If they could, there's a way to change that, then I think it'd be a-okay. But I love the artwork for this one in particular, even though the movie's kind of goofy. But I do love this one. It's Godzilla versus Megaguirus. And then we've got I don't remember what era the newer stuff is called, but we've got Shin Godzilla, and then we have Chibi Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. These are all my common gray cards. We've got Mondas and Varans and Gorosaurus. I still haven't watched the original movies that these all came from, so I need to find them and watch them one of these days. We got Giant Condor over here. We have Godzilla and his son. We got Baragon. I have watched the original one that he's in, which I believe is Frankenstein Conquers the World or Frankenstein versus Baragon. But I like that movie. It's really, really goofy. It sums up the kaiju genre in one big Europe versus Europe European mythology with Frankenstein, and then Japanese modern kaiju mythology. We've got the gravity beams. These are from the short G-Fest films. And then Destroy All Monsters, of course. I would like to see this one in color one of these days, but that may or may not happen. And we got all the Chibis. Chibi Mothra, Chibi Godzilla, destroying everything. Chibi Mechagodzilla. And then we're getting into the comments for the red cards. So we got all the Eberas, the Kamakuras battle cards, the Minya battle cards. We've got Mechagodzilla 74. We've got Heat Ray Charge, Ultimate Destruction. These are from -1. We've got Minya. So leave in the comments below how you pronounce Godzilla's son's name. I have heard the Japanese say it as Minya. I've heard people call him Manila. I've heard him be called... that's all I can remember. But let me know in the comments below how you pronounce his name. We've got Gabara. That's the big bully, for anybody who doesn't know. The big bully of Minya. King Caesar. I kind of like his face design, because it's from Final Wars. I like his face design, but like his body I feel is too slim. It looks too much like a dude. Like clearly a dude in a costume, whereas the original one from 74 looks a little bit better in the body. We've got Godzilla Fest Godzilla, based on the Final Wars design. We've got Godzilla 55, which is Raids Again. Godzilla 75, which is Terror of Mechagodzilla. -1, Eating the Train. The original. That's such a great shot. I would love to see this in a SP or something. I'm sure it'd look really, really cool. There is no danger of the creature coming ashore. No prime minister has ever eaten his words so fast because of this scene. Godzilla third form, second form. I should probably flip these around so it'd make it look better. Godzilla 69. This is Godzilla's Revenge, because that's him fighting Gabara. We've got Destroyer aggregate form. We're getting into the blue cards now. Blue commons. So we got one of my favorite designs of Godzilla is the Burning Godzilla. The MBT tanks. Orga from Godzilla 2000. Godzilla Biollante. Beast form. Rose form. Some strategy cards of Biollante. I like this one. And I'll show you some of my other ones that have like the SPs of this. Meganula. For anybody who does know, please tell me where this shows up. I don't remember, and I've seen most of the movies with Toho's kaiju, so for whatever reason, I can't remember. The only thing I can think of is the Rebirth of Mothra series, but that's it. It's all I can think of that may or may not have this in it. We got Rodan from, I believe it's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, because this is the Heisei one. Godzilla vs. Mothra. Got Mothra's egg from the same movie. Godzilla 2000. We've got 93. Why don't I remember what that is? That must be Space Godzilla. No, maybe it's Mechagodzilla. Or I'm sorry, not Mechagodzilla. I think it's King Ghidorah. I think it's Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Got Baby Godzilla, which that one, I believe, because this is the one where Rodan shows up, because they're trying to, they're basically trying to compete with Jurassic Park. So I think this one is Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, but I could be wrong. This is Return of Godzilla, I think, based on the costume there. Another MBT tank, Biollante Rose form. The Door Rats, the cute little guys that turn into King Ghidorah. One of the funniest scenes from Destroy All Monsters, just carrying Anguirus around. King Ghidorah from Invasion of the Astro Monster. Space Godzilla, one of my favorite designs. There's another YouTuber who made a funny video with this. Oh, what's his name? It's the kid from The Simpsons. Ralph, that's his name. Ralph getting yeeted through the window, being like, I'm in danger, or something. Gigan. We got Mogura from Space Godzilla. Tell me also in the comments how you pronounce this. I've always pronounced it Mogura. I haven't heard it any different. So we got Megalon, which I feel like if they could do him right, like the short film that came out a few years ago, like he'd be such a cool character to bring back. One of my favorite designs here, Godzilla from Final Wars, Godzilla Final Wars, Gigan. We've got the I don't remember what Space Godzilla's attack's called in this movie, because Ghidorah's got gravity beams, but I could be wrong. But I know this one actually changes gravity, so I think this one's supposed to be called gravity beams. But this one I do believe is, because it's Mothra larva form. Yeah, this has got to be just King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. We've got Return of Godzilla, him eating a nuclear power plant. Jet Jaguar and Godzilla teaming up in the Godzilla Fest, which I believe they fight Ghidorah in this one. One of my favorite designs. This is from GMK. Got Chibi Godzilla over here. Now we're getting into the uncommons. We've got Mechagodzilla. Very cool. Rodan. Moguros. Yeah, see what I mean about the King Caesar. Like I kind of like the new one's face, but I feel like this one, I like this design better. Of course, these two are from the same movie. Hedorah. One of the more interesting movies of the series. And what's really weird is that if you ever look up and you want to see screen time for Godzilla, for whatever reason, this movie has one of the most screen time for the big G. So it's one of the reasons I liked it, because he just shows up more in it than other ones. We got Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. We got Shin Godzilla while he's still in the water. Never liked this design much. I wish they would have used the concept art of him looking like kind of a weird fish with legs. But, to each their own. We have the Godzilla Fest Godzilla based on Final Wars. This is also from Final Wars. This is Godzilla vs. Hedorah, but it's based on the Final Wars design. The cabinet helicopter from Shin about to be destroyed. Original Godzilla from 54. The tank's trying to take down Shin Godzilla, and then Shin Godzilla's third form. Over here, we're getting into the blue uncommons. We've got Biolante Rose form, the Super X2, Orga Phase 2. I would have liked this. This is also another one that's interesting, because Godzilla has a lot of screen time in Godzilla 2000, but for whatever reason, they couldn't move Orga much. So as a kid, it's yeah, Godzilla's in the movie, but for whatever reason, this guy didn't move a whole lot, and Godzilla just stands there and lets him eat him. It was always strange to me as a kid, but let me know in the comments if that's something that you thought was weird too as a kid, or you just didn't care. We've got, this is Godzilla vs. Mothra from the Heisei era. I believe this is Space Godzilla, when all of a sudden they decided to make baby Godzilla cute. Batra. I love the larva form of Batra. Probably one of my... I love his design for the larva form way more than Mothra, and I like it better than the design of the evolved form of Batra. I just, for whatever reason, think it looked cooler. Fire Rodan, which I think is from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1992-ish, somewhere in there, but I could be wrong. Super X3 from the Heisei era. Megaguirus from Millennia. Godzilla vs. Destroya. I would love to get more SPs of Destroya. He's probably my, if I had to pick top favorite Godzilla villain besides Ghidorah, because it's a given, it's Destroya. I wanted to get, and I had a chance to get a figure of him, so that way it'd go with my, I'll just show you. I'll go with my -1 Super 7 series Godzilla, and then my I have a, oh, you're not Haya. Are you Haya Toys? I think you are. It's a, no, yeah, no, yeah, you're Haya Toys King Ghidorah, the gold edition. I'll pull the phone out and I'll show you towards the end. But I didn't get a chance to get it because we were trying to be smart with our money. And I'm like, no, I don't need 3 figures right now. So I'll get a chance. I'll get him later, and then it'll go nice with the setup I want to do on my eventually put on my back wall to show you guys. We've got Godzilla 2000, Biollante Rose form. This is also another one I grew up with on VHS. It was always so weird because I didn't understand that there was like a it was a continuous story in the Heisei era. I had no idea. I just was like didn't know of Return of Godzilla. Didn't know, or I knew about Biollante. Didn't know about Mothra, Ghidorah, and so on. Didn't even know about Destroya until years later. So, we got Godzilla in Space Godzilla. Godzilla versus Gigan. Yeah, this is definitely Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. You got Space Godzilla. These are all uncommon green cards. Gorosaurus. Oh, Godzillasaurus. I'm sorry. King Ghidorah. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. The Bloody Chainsaw. Still one of my favorite designs of Gigan. Such a funny thing is like they did so well with this movie and then they ran out of budget, so they made this whole intro sequence of him, and anything with him flying looks so cheap, which is sad because I love his design and I like the way that the crystals look on him, but they ran out of money, so they had to make it look very, very old school. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, one of the trippiest movies because of all the time travel. 72 Godzilla. I believe this is Godzilla versus Hedorah, because this is when he flies backwards. Gigan from the Godzilla Fest. I don't remember seeing this one, though. I could be wrong. I'll have to look it up again. Oxygen Destroyer. Somebody was talking about, on a video I watched, that this will probably be a very common staple for this game. Let me read it again, because I don't remember. If your opponent has 2 or fewer rage, move your opponent's monster card as though it were countered. Do not play the next monster card from your monster deck. If your opponent has 2 or fewer rage, move your opponent's monster card as though it were countered. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's super handy. Now we're getting into all my parallels. Eventually I want to make a Shin deck, so that'll be super fun. We've got Shin second form and his fourth form and Frozen, Titanosaurus. Critically underrated kaiju because it was right at the end of the Heisei era and people started to lose interest. -1, Godzilla stomping on everything. All the conductorless train bombers from Shin, which is super cool. Minya from Final Wars, Rodan from Destroy All Monsters. We have Unthinkable Destruction for -1. I love this design of Anguirus. Like, this is my favorite of his, hands down. Especially when he turns into a soccer ball and Godzilla's trying to keep him from scoring, which is very funny. The G-Fest Godzilla, I believe these are the same one? I'll have to rewatch them. I haven't watched them in a while. Destroy in flying form. Millennia Godzilla. Biollante, Millennium Godzilla, and Megaguirus. We got Biollante versus Godzilla. I want this one in SP very bad. Godzilla versus Destroya. I want to see how they made that look really pretty. Same with this one. And I've got this Biollante plant beast form in the SP, and I'll show you that shortly. We've got Godzilla versus Ghidorah, the strategy card, which I also have in SP. Ghidorah from 91, Space Godzilla, Space. I guarantee this one they have it in SP, but I feel like this one would be even better. Because if you look here, another YouTuber I saw pointed out, like you can barely see Mechagodzilla's face. It's kind of tucked away. Whereas this one, you can clearly see everything really well. So, I don't know. Leave in the comments what you think. Great one. Love this version. I want to eventually get all the chibis. I don't think I'll get the gold. It's just too too past my price point. I'd have to pull them. But I'm just glad I got a couple of these in the parallels because I like the artwork. And like I said, eventually I want to make a like a chibi deck, which would be kind of fun. A lot of ones we've seen before. We'll just kind of speed through these ones we've seen. This is new. Space Beam from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. The original Godzilla. This is a token. These are new. They work with some of the newer cards that are released. Godzilla ripping his head, mech's head off. Let's see, anything else is new? Godzilla 2000, that's new. Little Godzilla looks new. Destroy in perfect form. I eventually want to make a Destroy deck. It's funny how they went from this one, Baby Godzilla, to Little Godzilla, and it's like, you'd think it would go this way, but not this way. But they're like, we're going to compete with Jurassic Park, so we're going to make him look more like a dinosaur. Oh, wait. People want him cute, so we're going to make him cute. Because moms are taking their kids, and they want to see cute things. Let's see. These are all ones you guys have seen before. We're just getting into the parallel versions of those. We got a parallel Megalon. That's a new one. These are all the tokens for cards that use them. Another token for Chibi Godzilla. And these are parallel rages, except for this one. This one's just in there. Yeah. And then these are all my SRs. So I'm pretty sure these four are going to be staples for sure. They're very useful. And I've already looked up some deck lists, and they have these. If anybody has a better place to find deck lists, I would appreciate it, because I had to go to their, like, the Godzilla card game website, and they had like the Champions deck list, and that was it. Like, it was just the Champions deck list, nothing else. So if anybody has any other information about where I can find better stuff, that'd be great. I love this SR art of Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, and that one with Mechagodzilla is pretty cool too. We've got Godzilla 2000 and the original. I've got an SP in this one. I feel like, so this is from -1, but if you guys can tell, it is really hard to see that one. It's so dark. So I'm curious if the SP fixes that or not. Got SR versions of Mothra and Mechagodzilla and -1 getting his head blown off. And then I will show you all of my SPs now. Put that binder away. For anybody who's stuck with me so far, I appreciate you. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Anything helps, so that way I can get this channel to grow and I can keep making videos like this. So we'll go ahead and go show off first. So this is one of the first polls I had. Was Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I like this one. I just wish I could see the front of him, because it's like, oh, you're looking at his back. Whoop-de-doo. We've got an SP version of Shin Frozen, which is super sweet. And then we've got, I believe this was like the actual first one I pulled ever, but I don't remember. But I've opened several boxes at this point, so we got Godzilla from 1954. This one I just pulled today. I'll post that video again a little later. Sorry for the lighting. We're working on it. I've got some lamps and LEDs I'm going to put up, try to help the lighting a little better. But yeah, that one's super sweet. It goes perfectly with my other SPs of Biollante, so that's another one. And you can reference my other past videos of all these, because I've posted them before. These are all my... I pulled all these, which are super, super cool. I'm thinking about doing a Biollante deck just because of this. And then I've just bought these because I'm not anywhere near where they have events like this. So I just bought these on TCG Player just so that way I had them. So that one's super sweet. And then Heat Ray. This one's kind of funny. So if you look really close, like his eye looks a little derpy, and so does his mouth compared to the normal version of this heat ray. But other than that, it's pretty sweet. And then we've got the conductorless train bomber SP, which is, I like the texture of it just exploding from the center, which is super nice. So these are my big pulls. So all the nice ones I'm going to show you, I had pulled in one pack. So we got a gold Shin, which is super sweet. We've got the gold Space Godzilla Rage card. We've got Godzilla vs. Ghidorah. Godzilla's Revenge. We have Invasion of the Astro Monster and Rage. Gold Rage, I should say. Godzilla vs. Gigan. And Godzilla Raids again. I really am debating on getting these shipped off to PSA, since they have a deal with GameStop for a reasonable price to get these shipped off. So that might be my own personal Christmas present. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Because even if I don't ever sell these, just having them graded and in really nice cases, ones that I know aren't going to get busted, like these, I know they're just magnetized, so it's very temporary. Something that'd be a little bit more sturdy, make me a little bit more happy about them being safe, and then knowing what kind of grade I can get would be kind of fun. If you'd like to see that, leave it in the comments below, and I can do a post or update about if I get these shipped off to PSA. But yeah, that's what I have so far. Oh, I did promise I was going to show the... This is my Haya Gold King Ghidorah from 2019. Reason he wasn't in my... And also the -1 wasn't in my showcase of my office is because I had him on a shelf in my living room. But that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys like to see next, and we'll see you next time.